That is not a good. Hold on. There we go. Should have checked that before we started. Should I just leave it alone? All right, we're going to have to leave that alone. There we go. All right. Sorry, I keep saying all right, and then I'm always like, okay, this is better. Try not to have all of my boobs in the camera. This is a Monday, so of course this is just my day off. Please ignore this monster of a pimple that I unfortunately have been messing with this weekend, which I should have left alone, but I don't know how to do that. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or just welcome if you're new. My name is Eboni Harris and I'm a relationship therapist based in Houston, Texas. Today we are back with another live stream. It is Monday at 2 o'clock, which means I am on YouTube streaming live, answering any of your questions that you have, as well as questions that are in the comments and things like this. This is typically where I answer them. I do have a video that I'm going to do based on a question, but I want to sit down and I have a full script and all of that stuff because it's a pretty big topic. And, I've been getting some great feedback. People in my shorts or that watch some of my videos around attraction and emotionally unavailable, really good feedback. People are saying it's really helpful, but you get those 1 or 2 comments of people that's just like, I already know there's going to be some negativity that probably will come if this video does get any traction. So I've decided, instead of doing it live, I'm just going to sit down, record it, get all of my thoughts out, and then edit that and post it. So that you'll see that coming up soon. It's around, how do I become attractive? The question literally came from a man, and it was like, how do I attract women? I try not to do gender specific, but clearly that comes out sometimes. So it'll probably be more about just attracting people, whoever you choose to date. But all of that to say that most of the times I do my questions here. So if you have questions that you want me to answer or anything like that, you can always put them in the chat, or you can put them in the comments down below, or the comments on other videos. If I see them, then this is where they will probably be answered. So today I am actually, due to the date of being February 27th, that's today, the day that we're recording this live, and me knowing how New Year's resolutions work, I know that at this point, over 2/3 of people, over 66% of people who set resolutions, who set New Year's goals, have started to struggle, right? Or they've completely given up and all that's or they have completely given up all the way, right? There's a study from 2021 that actually says 2/3 of people actually give up by the end of January. Like, that's it. End of January, they're done, right? 3 weeks in, they're done. And as I've stated in previous videos, I love goal setting. I love new months, new years. I like to take opportunities to kind of reset yourself. That's why a lot of my products are called Reset, because I feel like sometimes you just you have to kind of just take a step back, take stock of what's happening, and try again with different information. And this is why I enjoy goal setting. This is why I enjoy newness, because I feel like every week, every day, that's a new opportunity for us to be the best versions of ourselves. And that's the same with setting goals and the person that you wanted to be throughout this year. And maybe sometimes we just don't have the strategies to do it the way that we wanted to. So today, I'm just going to briefly talk about different things that block us from setting our goals, right? And I understand completely why we often struggle when it comes to the momentum that we have set toward our goals. And also sometimes it's just even hard for us to set the right type of goals, right? There's this idea of what type of goals we set. A lot of times we're basing our goals on feelings like, I don't like this. I feel like it should be better. I'm going to be better at, I don't know, sleep, right? Versus saying, I am going to, do a sleep schedule. I'm going to make sure that I am in my bed at least 8 hours a night, trying to be relaxed and sleep better, whatever. But we'll just say, I'm going to get better at sleeping. So it's like this general thing, and it makes it really hard to measure, and it makes it really hard to work toward when you don't have a very clear picture. So we're going to just talk about the three of the top reasons why people struggle to set goals. Number one is very common. It's like I just said, it's that lack of clarity. Oftentimes we are basing our goals on, okay, I just want my life to look like this, so that's what I'm going to work on, right? My goal is I'm going to make $2 million this year, or I'm going to lose 100 pounds this year, or I'm going to work out every day and it's like, those are actually measurable goals, right? You can measure how close you get to $2 million. You can measure how much weight you're losing, but sometimes they're not based in anything of substance. It's just based on like this arbitrary number or this idea of like what I want myself to look like. And the assumption is that I should be able to get there in a year, right? And can a year change your life? Definitely, right? 100%. 1 year can change your life. 2020 changed a lot of lives, right? Good and bad. So definitely there can be huge changes for people within a year. But the reality is we have to look at it as, what am I doing daily to achieve these goals? And is this something that with who I am right now? And yes, there will be shifts and I want to grow, I want to change, I want to heal, all of those things. But with who I am right now, is it possible? Is it likely for me to attain this goal in this period of time? Right. And so sometimes it means, how do I start to build the habits for me to get to that goal? Right. If I've been making $40,000 for my whole life, is it sure? Can I make 2 million in a year? 100%. You could, it's possible. But why that number? Does that even align with who I am? And that's a big part of goal setting, is we kind of pick these things and we don't even understand why they're so important to us. Why do I want to do this? Why is this the number I've chosen, right? Is it, okay, I looked at my debt. I looked at the debt of my family. I've looked at the cost of my mortgage. I've looked at how much it costs to put kids in college. I looked at, if you've looked at all these numbers, and $2 million is just a number that like, I need to get there because that's going to help me be able to really have the life I want and have the freedom I want, then okay. But oftentimes when we look at what we desire in life, and when we write down what our bills and all of that, when we start to write that stuff down, it really does end up being a lot less than this huge number we have in our head. That doesn't mean, again, that you can't get there, but I think sometimes that's why we end up losing that motivation, is because there isn't as much clarity around what our goals are and why we decided that those are the goals that we're going to set, right? And so I think that's extremely important, that you have to be clear. You have to be clear on who am I? What are my intentions? What are my values? What is my vision of my life? And how will that allow me to meet the goals that I have, right? The second thing is a lack of planning. We will say, all right, I'm doing it. And okay, my goal is to go to the gym every day, right? Okay, cool. That's the goal. So I wake up, put on workout clothes, go to the gym, and then I'm like, okay, what do I do? Right? Oh, I'm just gonna do cardio. Let me get on a treadmill. Okay, cool. 5 days of cardio. This is boring. I don't want to keep doing cardio, but I said I have to do it every day. Okay, let's do 3 more days. All right. Well, I'm tired. Today it's a little hard. Like, the motivation isn't there, and we don't have a clear plan on what we want to do or what we want it to look like. And so then it makes it very hard for us to continue. If it starts to get boring, if it starts to get confusing, if it feels like we're not making the progress we want to make, then we can get very frustrated by it, right? And so lack of planning is another huge reason why we struggle to meet our goals, because once things start to fall apart, if you don't have a plan to overcome, if you don't have a plan of what I'm going to do if some obstacles come in my way, then it could be extremely difficult for you to actually excuse me, it could be extremely difficult for you to keep up with the goals. And then the last one is a lack of accountability. And this is extremely common if you don't have a community of people that share similar goals, or that are goal setters, right? There are some people who are list people, right? And I'm one of those people. Oh, I have my notebook right here, but I'm one of those people. Every week, I write down a list of the things that I want to do. And then I end up, and then I break it down into what days I want to get them done. I am a list person. I literally have on my list YouTube Live, how to set goals. That is what I'm doing right now. And I have a script, a little bit of a script of what I want to talk about during my live, right? And so I am a list person. I am a planner. I am a goal setter, right? But not everybody is that person, right? And even if you're not that person, like, oh, I don't typically use lists, that's fine. But this may be helpful if you start to recognize, okay, one, I need to plan. And then two, I need to be around other people that also are these same type of people, right? I need to find my people. I need to find people that are goal setters. I need to find people that are going to say like, hey, I know this week you're supposed to be doing this. How did that go? Right. And sometimes that's hard. Sometimes we don't have the accountability. Sometimes we don't want to tell people what our goals are because we're scared we're not going to meet them. Right. So that's another reason why we don't have accountability. And so a big part of, if you want to attain and reach certain goals, who are you sharing this with? who are you talking to about it? I love, and I haven't done this yet, but I love that there are people on social media that actually come on and say, hey, I don't really have a community in my hometown, or I don't have a community amongst my friends because we just have different interests. So this is where I'm going to come to share my goals, right? This is where I'm going to be accountable of, am I eating well? Am I working out? This is where I'm going to be accountable of, am I selling my products? Am I really pushing myself to make more money, right? This is where that accountability, am I dating, right? If I want a relationship, am I going out and meeting new people? People use YouTube for that, right? And I think that's an amazing community. This is why I'm on YouTube. I love YouTube. I think it's just a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of connection that you can make with people via a video platform, right? So I think, and YouTube, and of course other platforms as well, but this is the one I'm just thinking about right now because I'm on it. And so I think having accountability is extremely helpful because it allows you to kind of check in with yourself and with others to say, hey, this is what I was supposed to be doing. This is how I did. And I'm really big on graceful accountability, on compassionate accountability. I don't believe in bullying. I don't believe in criticism, extreme criticism, or anything like that. I think you can give feedback without it being critical. I think you can give feedback without it being mean. And so I feel like you can definitely, when you have accountability and you have those spaces where you feel safe to say like, hey, this is what I was supposed to do. I didn't follow up on this, and this is why, this is what came up. And then you can start to acknowledge like, what are these blocks that stop you from actually achieving your goal, right? What are these things that like, okay, I thought I had it figured out, but this week I just got busy. Okay, what does busy mean? And how do you schedule something that's important to you so that you can make sure you do it? Do you need to do it at the beginning of the week, right? Before everyone else comes in and tells you what to do. Again, this is why I do so much on Mondays, because Mondays is my day, right? I have one standing meeting on Monday. I have my YouTube live that I do on Mondays. I try to record content on Mondays. Mondays is the day when I have the most energy because by Thursday evening, I have seen 10 to 15 clients. I have worked on 3 or 4 different projects. I've had emails coming in asking me to do new things and all of that. And so by Thursday or Friday, which is my other admin day, I'm not going to be as energetic as I am on Mondays, right? So on Fridays, I do a lot of like sitting around doing checklists. Maybe that's the day I'm kind of like editing where I don't have to be on, right? I don't have to have a lot of energy or personality and things like that. So that's typically what Fridays look like for me because the week has happened, and I love what I do, right? Imagine if you don't love what you do. I love what I do, and I still am like drained by Friday. So I definitely think you have to start to plan for that success, and you have to hold yourself accountable. And that's the only way that you can shift when you need to get better results, right? But if I just say, oh, I was busy and I just move on, when you don't have anyone coming back and being like, well, what does that mean you were busy? Like, what did you have going on this week? So there was no time you could have set aside. What if you had put it on your calendar and said, this is the time I'm going to get it done? Would that have shifted anything, right? Is there anything that you could do next week to make sure that you're able to get this done? Right? Because the reality is we are the stewards of our time. We are the people that have to set and uphold our boundaries, which is the hardest part. And so if you say, I'm going to give myself 2 hours this week to focus on my goals or to focus on this one goal, then you have to schedule that in and you have to make it in a way that other people can't disturb you. If you're in a work meeting with your boss or whatever, are you like, oh no, I couldn't make the meeting because somebody can't? No. This is a work meeting and you have to be there, right? And so how do you hold yourself to that same standard? And how do you set yourself up to have that same priority and make sure that you're respecting your time and your boundaries for yourself, right? And so sometimes you need to have that accountability for people to kind of help you walk through it and talk about it, right? And so that's why this month, in the month of March, for my lives, I've decided I'm going to focus on the goal setting because, again, I love it. It's one of the things that I enjoy doing. And in an attempt to like really push that like growth part, right? Because I'm pretty sure my webpage says heal, grow, love, right? So heal, mental health, all of that stuff, grow. What are my goals? Who do I want to be? Who am I internally? Also heal your past, all that stuff. And then love, relationships, and all of that stuff. Those are the areas that I care about a lot. And so I feel like I spend so much time talking about relationships, which I absolutely adore and I'll continue to do, that sometimes I don't get to lean into the other passions I have, like finances, like growth, like, meeting goal settings and things like that. And so that's what this is going to be. So the month of March, I am doing it'll be this. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it at the same time I'm going to do it later in the day. As of now, it'll still be at 2:00 that it'll happen. And so then if, let's say you can't make it at 2, then you just have to rewatch it. But as of now, it'll be at 2 o'clock, and it'll be us going through these different things, understanding your values and your intentions, describing what you envision for your life. What are some blocks you can have? Planning your goals, planning how you're going to meet them every single week, things like that. That is the plan for the month of March. And so I hope you can join me, right? I hope that you can join me in setting goals that actually align with your vision. And if you want to join, all you have to do is be here next week. I'll also create like a little sign up that I'll put in the description box so you can check in and sign up there as well. Along with what I'll be using is the planner that I created. So a few weeks ago, I posted a video about goal settings and the struggles and the reason why I don't set resolutions anymore. And I just focus on these goals. And I'm going to make the planner that I created for that is what I'm going to be using. And so obviously you don't have to have a planner. You can have a journal because we're going to talk about everything, but it's just a really organized way to do it. So if you're interested, the link is in the bio. It's the Reset Your Year Planner. And I call it the Reset Your Year because I don't believe that you have to have, because this is the thing. We buy these planners and it has like the dates. And if you know that you're not a person that stays aligned with your goals all the time and that you may struggle with that, then you buy a planner and okay, we were in January, I had a big plan. February, I kind of got bogged down or I just got overwhelmed or whatever. And so I have to skip February, which is completely empty now, and then move to March, right? And so this planner doesn't have dates. It's not that type of a planner. It's really just like a workbook that helps you kind of sort out your thoughts, your feelings, your values, all that kind of stuff. So you can understand who you are and what your goals, what your vision of your life is. And then from there, we set goals that align with that vision. And then we have a plan that's week by week. And you can start it at any time, but the plan is for us to use March to prepare, and then we'll start for the second quarter. I like quarters again. I like newness. So start for the second quarter, which is in April, and start working on those goals. And so if you are interested in joining, feel free to go to the comments, get the workbook, and join us next week. We'll be here talking about that. I'm so excited. So I'll see you next week at 2 p.m. Central. If anything changes, I'll make sure to put that in the community tab. But as of now, it will be at 2 p.m. And I hope to see you. So that's all. Bye.